When I was having trouble writing this speech, I asked my English teacher for some advice. He told me that some of the best speeches he ever heard were ones that were based on things the speaker knew well and could relate to promoting. For me, that thing was the boy who never grew up, Peter Pan. I think, in different ways, that all of us relate to this story. Many of us are like Peter, who detested the idea of growing up. He once said to Wendy, "Never say goodbye, because goodbye means going away, and going away means forgetting." Peter couldn't bear to see Wendy leave him behind, just like we don't want to say goodbye to our friends that aren't going to the same high school as us or are moving across the country. Peter had a fear of people abandoning him, and sometimes saying goodbye feels like abandonment. Leaving behind our friends may feel like we're forgetting the exuberance of childhood, but we won't forget. How could we? The last 3 years have been personally historic for each and every one of us. We fell into our friend groups, figured out what we like, dislike, and absolutely love, and had some of the greatest nights of our lives so far. Some went to their first big party, while others discovered their love for reading, playing sports, or maybe even singing. And come on, we live in a technological age where everyone takes pictures of everything. Our memories are eternally pixelated and preserved on computer screens. It's almost harder to forget than to remember. But how do you deal with this transition? A recurring conflict in Peter Pan is Wendy's faltering attitude about adulthood. At first, she resented growing up, but when Peter took her to Neverland, seeing how lost the Lost Boys actually were brought the importance of maturing into her mind. She tried to push the lingering thought of growing up out of her head because she wanted to stay young and frivolous. The scale kept tipping from opinion to opinion. Middle school is reminiscent of Wendy's tentativeness. The last 3 years were about changing our minds and changing them back again. Your once favorite outfit is now a vile thing to even glance at. The band that was totally lame last month is now on replay on your iPod. Making choices is one of the hardest things to do as a teenager, and Wendy was a perfect example of that. She couldn't decide who or what she cared about more, Peter or her life in London. She was hesitant at first, but in the end she chose the latter, but visited Peter for spring cleaning every year. Like Wendy, we're unsure of who we are or who we want to be, but that's actually okay. Middle school wasn't about finding who you are, but who you might be. You might want to be a journalist, or possibly an actress on Broadway, or maybe an astronaut, or even a lawyer. Our choices are endless. We can still be, unlike Wendy, we don't have to decide who we are right now. We can still be anything under the sun. And as we grow up and find ourselves in the world, we will be reminded of our years at Parkway and realize just how much the choices we made actually impacted who we turned out to be. And we'll be grateful for our time here. And finally, never forget that all you need is faith, trust, and a little pixie dust. Thank you and congratulations.